The ease that comes at night is different from the daytime kind. It doesn't have to fight to settle somewhere in the mind. Nocturnal ease, unhurried gift, the only kind that doesn't shift. Nocturnal ease, soft and free, this is what the night gives me. Nocturnal ease, real and slow, the only ease I've come to know. I try to find it in the day, in tasks completed, boxes ticked, but ease would always slip away before I knew that I was tricked. Nocturnal ease, unhurried gift, the only kind that doesn't shift. Nocturnal ease, soft and free, this is what the night gives me. Nocturnal ease, real and slow, the only ease I've come to know. The night gives freely, no invoice, no condition, just the residual light of the day lingers longer than the sun. In windows where the curtains sway, long after everything is done. Residual light still warm, long after the passing of the storm. Residual light, soft remain, the glow that follows after rain. Residual light from people who passed through my life and left their warmth remaining like a steeple, even after they have left. Residual light still warm, long after the passing of the storm. Residual light, soft remain, the glow that follows after rain. Some people leave you brighter, even after they are gone. The residual light they gave you is what you carry on. There's a low language in the evening that doesn't need words to be said. A warmth in the quiet receiving of everything left instead. Low language felt not heard, below the reach of any word. Low language, warm and clear. The language only felt from near. Low language, deep and wide. The language of the inside. I've learned to speak in low language, in the warmth of close and still, in the barely there and manage of the quiet against my will. Low language felt not heard, below the reach of any word. Low language, warm and clear. The language only felt from near. Low language, deep and wide. The language of the inside. Speaking low language, being understood anyway. That's the best kind of communication. The night fabric wraps around the city in ways that daylight never manages. Something almost tender, almost gritty, in the way the darkness bandages. Night fabric, dark and soft, the material of the overhead loft. Night fabric, woven through with everything the night can do to make the ordinary feel like something more entirely real. the ordinary feel like something more entirely real. Wrapped in night fabric, finally wrapped it. Wrapped in night fabric, finally wrapped it. The low window shows a different city than the one the high floors know. More detail, more ordinary beauty, more of the actual below. Low window, this is mine. Ground level, human design. Low window, close and real. The city at the scale of feel. I've lived at every height in cities and learned I always come back down. The low window holds the gritties and the gentler parts of town. Low window, this is mine. Ground level, human design. Low window, close and real. The city at the scale of feel. Look through. Low window. Everything is closer here. The faces, the rain on pavement, the scale of what is deep. Through the low window, everything I need to see. Right there. I've been living in muted colors since the brightness became too much. Soft ochres and faded others, things that don't demand too much. Muted colors, soft and warm, beautiful the way things are torn. Muted colors, mine. faded things once called me, bright and loud and fully there. Now the quiet tones enthrall me, the colors only night can wear. Muted colors, soft and warm, beautiful the way things are torn. Muted colors, mine to keep, the palette of a life lived deep. There's more detail in the muted, more truth in what's been diluted. The loudest things are often less than what the quiet ones express. Soft ochre, faded blue. This is my palette now. My interior tide moves quietly, without the drama of the sea. Just a gentle shifting privately between the versions of me. Interior tide, in and out, moving without fear or doubt. Interior tide, mine and deep, a rhythm that I always keep. Some inner tides bring clarity, some bring the fog back in. I've stopped expecting parity between where I've been and where I begin. Interior tide, in and out, moving without fear or doubt. Interior tide, mine and deep, a rhythm that I always keep. Trust the interior tide, it knows where it's going. Even when you don't, even when you can't follow. Out, the interior tide knows. keeps resolving to a minor chord. Not tragic, just unfinished, slightly raw. Not what the melody was working toward, but beautiful in its own minor flaw. Minor chord, soft and unresolved, a question the music never solved. Minor chord, this is where I stay, in the tension between night and day. Just honest about the beautiful incompleteness of being alive. Still in the minor, still unresolved, still beautiful. I'm not the moon, but I live adjacent to something bright I can't explain. Not the source, but something patient in the orbit of its pale refrain. Adjacent, close but not orbiting what others forgot. Adjacent, quiet pool, never empty, never full. Always one more. That's how it goes.
That the night hours know.
I count the hours like loose change, spending them on nothing much, rearranging and rearranging things that don't quite add to such. Night arithmetic, soft and slow, adding up the yes and no. Night arithmetic, only mine, everything between the lines. Some nights the numbers fall in place, some nights they scatter like gold rain. I sit here in this quiet space and do the math of loss and gain. Night arithmetic, soft and slow, adding up the yes and no. Night arithmetic, only mine, everything between the lines. It never balances quite right, but something in the trying makes the numbers feel like light. Inside the quiet crying, still counting, still here. The math doesn't matter as much as I thought. Nights of sitting still, of learning what the dark can teach, of finding that I always will return to what was out of reach. 100 nights, soft and long, each one where I most belong. 100 nights, mine to keep, every surface, every deep. 100 nights, real and true, everything I found and knew. I didn't set out to collect them, just lived inside them one by one. I didn't try to recollect them, just let each one be done. 100 nights, soft and long, each one where I most belong. 100 nights, mine to keep, every surface, every deep. 100 nights, real and true, everything I found and knew. to settle my night debt in the quiet of the late hour. Everything I haven't dealt with yet, everything beyond my power. Night debt, what I owe the dark for the shelter of its quiet mark. Night debt, settling slow, paying back what the dark bestows. Night debt, soft and clear in the honest dark. I'm not so feared. Dead is always manageable in the late and quiet black. Nothing here is unmanageable when you lay flat on your back. Night debt, what I owe the dark for the shelter of its quiet mark. Night debt, settling slow, paying back what the dark bestows. Night debt, soft and clear in the honest dark. I'm not so feared. Debt settle for tonight. The dark asks so little, just presence. My walls are thin as paper now. I hear the neighbors breathe and turn. I never quite learned to know how to hold without the need to burn. Paper walls and city sounds. This is where my quiet grounds. Paper walls, I hear it all, and somehow I don't mind the fall. The woman next door hums a song. I don't know its name or year, but I have hummed along so long. It almost feels city's brim. I've learned to let the evening in, to sit with what I cannot change, to wear the night against my skin and find it oddly, quietly strange. Low light living, this is fine. Slower, softer way to shine. Low light living, warm and dim, right here at the city's brim. Not everything needs to be bright. Some things only show at night. Low light, low light living. I keep my eyes on the low horizon, not the peaks that others climb. The line where earth and sky keep rising slowly in their own good time. Low horizon, mine to see everything that's going to be. Low horizon, wide and real, more than any peak could feel. Low horizon, soft and far, finding where we truly are. The summit has its drama, its achievement and its view, but the low horizon has the calmer, patient